All right, everyone, welcome back to In the Vet's Office. I am your host, Dr. Josie, and today we have a very special guest. You may know him from The Bachelorette, but there's a lot more to him than just reality TV. He's a best-selling author, a business and financial expert, an entrepreneur, and the host of his own hit podcast, Trading Secrets, which I may or may not be going on in the very near future.
Oh, yeah.
And most importantly of all, and the reason he's here today, is he is a dog dad to the newly adopted Teddy. Welcome to In the Vet's Office, Jason Tartick.
Thank you so much for having me.
I'm happy you're here.
This is cool. This is it's also like wild how many people we know. Like this all just came together so quickly. It's kind of crazy. Small world out there.
I know, Nashville especially.
Oh my gosh, it's like it's not 6 people. It's like 6 degrees of separation. It's 1.
Totally.
Yeah.
I saw you adopted Teddy, and I messaged one of our really good mutual friends, and I was like, hey, I bet this guy might be interested in a concierge vet. Like, let me reach out.
Yeah.
So I text you, and you're like, I might be moving. I don't really know. I'm like, no worries. Mm-hmm. Then I'm like, hey, we could prorate this if you want. You know, me being a business girl. And
wait, you said that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. We could prorate it.
So let me tell you about, you talk about red flag. See how many, look at these texts right there. How many is that?
That is, wait, where am I? Okay, 814.
I am the worst at texting. I didn't know you said you could prorate. Okay.
Yeah, we can prorate. Let's talk. Maybe we'll talk about this
so
on
if
your
I do
podcast.
New York City and Nashville, I could prorate from when I'm just here.
Absolutely.
All right. We'll talk
a lot of my clients
We'll close the deal on Trading Secrets.
We're going to close the deal. And so then I'm sitting there and you haven't responded yet. And I'm like, oh man, like I'm stressing about season 3. I need more guests. So then I send you a voice memo. Mm-hmm. You're busy. I don't hear back from you. I'm like, no big deal. That night I go out. I'm like, this guy, guys, what a dick. No. So then we go out. I go out that evening. I meet up with my good girlfriend who's here in town with her sister, Kelly Flanagan.
Yes.
And you show up at the bar and I'm like, oh my God, this guy. I've texted him. I have voice memoed him. And now I'm at this bar. I look like I'm stalking this guy. So I was like, hello, I'm Dr. Josie.
I was like, oh, what's your name, Josie? I was like, doctor. I'm like, wait a sec. Wait, what?
Like, you're the one that's been blowing me up. So anyways, I'm glad that we met, and I promise I'm not a stalker.
No, I mean, again, small world, right?
Totally.
Everyone, by the way, everybody, I have friends, Wags and Walks, my everyone endorse as like, you're the best. Like, you're the best.
I am
my
really,
biggest issue
really
though
good.
is I'm in this weird position where I'm trying to figure out, am I going to move to New York City or am I stay in Nashville? And I'm like toying with all the ideas, but the idea of the concierge pet service makes like perfect sense, especially Teddy goes freaking nuts at the vet. It's just, I gotta feel like everything in my life, which is crazy, even vet services, you can't figure shit out until you have your foundation right. 100%. So that's like, I gotta get the stone down and then can like build from there. So we're gonna work something out though.
I can't wait. Yeah. And I want to talk about your move to New York and what that might look like for your Teddy as well.
Yes. I want your opinion.
Yes, we'll discuss. Before we dive into all things Teddy, I like to start this podcast with a case of the week. Okay. And this kind of just like opens up what life is like in the trenches, if you will, for the listeners. And so this particular case, there was a guy, this was probably about a year ago, a guy was walking his dog off leash in Leash East Nashville.
I think I know this story.
Do you know this story?
You've only said like 4 things and I think I know it.
Oh boy, you know what happens next?
Yeah. Isn't this how small Nashville is?
Okay, well,
if the story's right,
I'm going to be shocked if you know this.
Okay,
this is one of my
it's
clients,
not.
maybe.
Okay.
Anyways.
It is one of your clients?
It is one of my clients.
That heats it up.
Okay.
Because it's a successful family.
Yeah. Well, this was before I was concierge,
okay.
but still, great guy. Okay, so he's walking his dog off leash. And this, by the way, for everyone listening, I don't care how good your dog is. Like, drivers are crazy. They still want to like sniff and get into things. Put your dog on a leash. It like gives me heart palpitations seeing them running around off leash. Anyways, this dog, he notices, is sniffing in a bush. He goes to kind of see, like, what are you looking, like, what are you sniffing at? And the dog pops back up. He has like something plastic in his mouth and he sees plastic and white. The dog swallows it. This happens all the time. He's like, maybe it's trash. Maybe it's a napkin. We'll see. They get home about a half hour later. The dog is super agitated. He's pacing around the house. He's just acting really strange. And so he calls us and tells us what's going on. And we say, yeah, you should definitely bring him in. Let us take a look at him. Mm-hmm. The dog comes to the clinic and he has the highest heart rate I have ever heard in a dog. It was like 300 beats per minute. He is panting, full body tremors, pupils are huge. He has a temperature through the roof. And a young dog, we always think, what have you gotten into? What kind of toxin? Yeah. We drug test him And come to find out, he ate an entire bag of cocaine.
Stop it.
Yep.
This is not the story I heard.
I was going to say.
That is insane.
An entire...
Just in the park, there was a bag of cocaine sitting around?
It was on the streets. He was walking down the sidewalk. And we have seen this time and time again. A lot of times it'll be like an edible, like weed edibles for whatever reason will be like dropped on the street. This is definitely my first time of a dog eating an entire bag of cocaine.
Holy shit. What do you do?
Well, the dog, I mean, you can give it like special muscle relaxants, but we had to hospitalize. We sent it right to the ER, to the ICU. They do like tons of IV fluids to kind of flush out their system. He ended up like seizing for multiple days in a row, like full blown overdose. And I really I want to say that he did great and went on to be fine, but he didn't. It did not end well.
Oh no, he died from it?
He passed away.
Oh my God, I was not expecting
I'm so sorry that I've brought you to this podcast to tell you this horrible story, but I think that this just really reiterates how important it is to have your pet on a leash. And even when they're on a leash, like keep an eye on like what they're getting into. Because like we do see this.
Yeah, I'm a huge leash guy. Just like I think you have to be. That is so sad. Yeah. The story that I was going to say that I thought it was the same start of the story. Very well trained dog, service animal, smartest breeds out there, no leash, which is typical, I guess, for this owner. And he went up to a girl there at the park and he's playing with the girl, and the girl was like, it was out of sight of the owner, I guess. And the girl said the dog was amazing. And then he gets distracted. And all of a sudden he hears shots. He hears gunshots.
Oh, I know this story too.
Yeah.
This was at Percy Warner Park.
And he goes over and then the guy that was nearby said that he felt threatened by the dog. And the girl was like, this was the sweetest dog in the world. That dog did nothing. I was the eyewitness. There was nothing.
There were multiple eyewitnesses.
Saying there was no attack. There was no nothing. And this guy took out a gun and killed the dog point blank. Broad daylight at a very well-known safe park.
Very safe.
Which is just insane.
Can you imagine
obviously
the trauma?
there's a lot to tackle within that situation, right?
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of different areas you could talk through.
Yeah.
But there's the theme from the other one is like the leash, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Obviously there's a lot more issues in that circumstance.
Right, for sure.
But
that's just like a whole other
there's so much
factor.
Yeah, unpack there. But the leash thing, it's real.
The leash. When in doubt, leash him up. Speaking of leash,
yes.
Let's talk about Teddy.
So, my man.
So all the listeners know I do a ton with Wags and Walks, and that is where you got Teddy from.
Yes.
Do you know? Tell us about him. Like, what's his age? Do you know his breed? And what is his backstory?
Okay, so he's 10 months when I got him. Okay. I've had him for a month now, so 11 months. That's all prediction, right? You guys decide that based on teeth?
Yeah. Teeth.
Right, okay, so that's what they told me, based on teeth. His backstory is wild. I actually haven't shared this yet. He in November, and I wish I had the notes in front of me so I got this perfectly correct, but in November, his owner was arrested. Okay. And when he was arrested, it was a pretty serious charge. And at that point, that owner had the two options: to give the dog up.
Do you know what the charge was?
No.
Like, did he commit homicide or something?
Trust me, I'm gonna find out.
Okay, we have to know
because I don't have any information.
Please
I'm gonna go true crime because I love true crime.
Okay.
So he gets arrested. It's a serious charge, and then he has two options: to surrender the dog, it'll go to a shelter to rescue, or a family member can take the dog. He wouldn't do either option. As a result of that, he then has to go in a specific type of shelter. In this shelter, from what I was told, it was an outdoor shelter. Now, I had a roof, but it was outdoors. So from November to February, Teddy was only in this shelter outdoors through the entire winter.
Wow.
Until a decision was made on the case. He was held in custody. A decision was made in February, I believe.
He was in doggy foster care.
He was in doggy foster care. Yeah, except sounds even like a little bit worse.
Yeah.
And they have pictures of him like in this like small area, and it's not great.
No.
And then when the guy was found guilty, that is when Wags was able to, Wags had their eye on him. The second he was found guilty, Wags could take him. And it was the day that he arrived. It was the next day I came in. So
wow.
that's like kind of crazy.
Were you just going there? Were you looking for a dog, or were you going to do social media stuff? How did that come to be?
I had my ex-fiance and I had 2 dogs together, and I don't want to get into that on this podcast, but
That is fair.
long and short, they're in a good, healthy, and happy place with her. And I hadn't seen them since May of last year. And so I have been like really like having a void in my heart for dogs. And it was February 13th, and the mailman left 2 dog bones at my front door. And I was like, I can't. I literally, and I took a video of it. I'm like, I'm dying right now. And Wags and Walks actually reached out. And they're like, hey, why don't you come volunteer and just come spend some time with dogs, and like maybe they'll put a smile on your face on Valentine's Day. Yeah. So I was like, you know what? You're right. And typically my days are just warped and packed and back-to-back meetings. I canceled everything and I was like, I'm coming in tomorrow. And so I went into Wags. I went in with John Gurney, and we played with all these dogs. And then I met Teddy that day. And that was again, he got there the day before. He wasn't even registered in their system. Wow. And I was like, oh my God, shit. This
is not good.
This is not good.
It's so like funny when you know.
Oh, it was the second I put my eyes on him, and I was like, oh no.
I don't know if love at first sight for humans exists, maybe, but with dogs, I know it does.
It was instant. Like I was like, I looked at him like, oh no, and I walked away. Like I did it like that. I'm like, uh-oh, and I came out, and we had so much. We were playing so much. I'm like, all right, take a breather. I promised myself I would, if anything, I would walk out, take a day or two. Took a day or two, went back to play with him for like 3 hours, walked him, everything. I'm like, he's mine. And so
he looks like a golden.
That was it. Yeah. Oh, his breed. Yeah. He looks like a golden, but he's definitely got something else. Golden, no way. His DNA testing's in right now. Okay. So I don't even know what he is, but I don't know. Maybe collie. I don't know. Yeah, everyone's got a different opinion on it.
How much does he weigh?
He's tall, like off the ground, he's tall, but he's around 60 pounds.
Does he have, on his back feet, does he have back dew claws?
Yes.
He does.
Yeah.
I could see him having Great Pyrenees. And
that's what the Wags found. That's what Catherine said.
I could see that.
And I was like, what?
I've never seen him in person, but
that's a big dog.
Big dog. And they are bred to protect chicken coops.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I know. Or like farm animals.
So what would that mean behaviorally?
Behaviorally, it means that they're very smart.
He is smart.
And probably too smart for his own good.
Yeah.
And that they just can be a little bit more like they're just can be protective.
They're protective. Mm-hmm. They're very stimulated. Mm-hmm. They're very highly stimulated. He's very alpha.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We've
Does he still have his kahunas?
We're gonna have to check that. No.
Okay. No. So we're neutered.
Recently, yeah.
Was he neutered at Wags?
Yes. Yep.
Okay, interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And he's 10 months old.
Yeah.
I have this theory that dogs come from rescue, and they either come to you a little bit more like mellow, and then as they get more comfortable, they're like, let's go. Yeah. I'm home. And they're crazy. Yeah. Or they come and they're like super hyper stimulated already, like really on edge, and then they start to calm down.
Yes.
How is he?
He is the definition of extremely stimulated. Okay. Like he is a wild man.
He parkours.
He is. Oh yeah. And you could tell like, right. Dogs are packed animals. He definitely, whatever pack he was in, he was the leader.
Okay.
And you could tell, it's his intention and energy is like so kind and sweet and fun and smiley. Okay. But he has also never been told no in his whole life.
Right.
So like you could tell wherever he was with this dude that's in jail, that dude got his show run by Rango, which was his name.
You make commitment murder, but Rango's the boss.
Yeah, Rango was the boss. Rango's got street cred, and now he's Teddy. But yeah, so he has a lot of training to be done. But he's such a sweet, like kind boy too. Like he's got such a soft side to him.
We were talking about this a little bit before, but I tell owners it is so common that they come to me and they have a new puppy. And the puppy is like 8, 10, 12 weeks old. And they're like, it's so cute. It sleeps so much. I have the perfect puppy. Yeah. They come back 6 months later and they're like, what have I done? This dog is a monster. Like, well, help me. And I'm like, this is very normal from months 8 to 12.
Okay.
Maybe even like 18.
Okay.
They're just on a tear.
Yeah,
You're
exactly.
in the thick of it.
And he wasn't, he just wasn't Nikki, the way Nikki kind of explained it is she's like,
for the listeners,
yes.
Nikki is the trainer that we had on season 2. She's actually coming back.
Oh, she's so great.
Season. She's amazing. People loved her. They were like, bring her back.
Yeah.
So
Oh my gosh.
The listeners know Nikki.
Yeah. When she talks, I don't say it. I'm just like,
yes, ma'am.
I'm like writing notes.
Exactly.
Like, just keep telling me.
Exactly.
I think the way she explains it is very helpful too, because it's the psychology and then the action, which is really helpful. But, what she was saying was that imagine like a human, like I just dropped, like name a random city in a country, anywhere. Tokyo, Japan.
Copenhagen.
Okay, Copenhagen, Tokyo, wherever. You put yourself there and you're just like, go figure it out. You'd be like, look, you'd be stimulated, looking everywhere. Where do I go? What's the currency? What's the restaurant? Where do I stay? You just like, you don't know. Ha, 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 ha. Yeah. It's like, that's your dog right now.
Yeah.
And imagine you go to Tokyo, Copenhagen, and I bring like the best, a very good friend who knows everything. They speak dual languages. They know the spots, they know the restaurants. What are you going to do? You're going to let them lead. And then you're going to follow their lead. And then they're going to show you everywhere and you're going to be safe and sound. This is what the dog needs. Like, you have to be the leader. And these dogs love you, but most dogs don't respect their owners, and you have to develop a respect with your dog. And so we've gone through a lot of like intense training, everything from crate training to opening the door, letting him come out when he's told to come out.
Yeah.
But then it's like this constant reestablishing relevance, right? Which is like, so he gets out of the crate. Now we got to reestablish relevance. Then we got to open the door, make sure he doesn't go out of the door without being told. Then the leash training. And there's been a lot of ups and downs and challenges and lefts and rights. But the biggest thing that we're working on is he's mouthy. And I didn't realize that, like, if a dog is, like what Nikki had said, if a dog is biting your leash, it's an extension of you. It's like they're biting you. And if they're putting your fingers or hand in their mouth in any capacity, even if it's like playful and like they think it's a toy, like they're not biting to hurt, but it's like playful, like it's the ultimate sign of disrespect. Like that doesn't happen. And so he does that. And then he also, his other thing that we're really working on is cars come by and he will rip after a car. Okay. Like it's a moving toy. Okay. So, which is a lot, right? Because the consequences of both of those actions, if not appropriately handled, could be severe injury or death. Yeah. Or whatever else could be from that. Yeah. So those are like two things we're taking like super seriously.
That's so interesting. I love the analogy of going to a new city, being totally overstimulated, and we are there. It's so interesting because our first instinct is, I'm just going to love you. I'm just going to love you through it. But they want your love, of course. And I think there's like a balance, but we also have to be their structure. Right. Which means we have to set boundaries. Yes. And we have to, be kind of strict. And that is so, I see owners struggle with that. I struggle with that.
So hard. I'm like, it's good. It's got to be good training for a child, because it is like, being like a little tough on him and resetting boundaries and doing things I know that are irritating him, but are for his best interest and mine. It's so hard.
If and when we have human children. Yeah. Thank you, Nikki. We are ready.
Yes. Thank you, Nikki. We appreciate
These are the basics.
it. But like, because he's mouthy, one thing that we're working on is like the figure 8.
Okay.
Which is,
I don't know this. What's that?
Okay. So it's, you take the
lead.
The lead. It's not the leash. It's like that lead thing, the rope.
That goes over the nose?
Yeah. No. It's just, essentially it's a leash. So it's a leash, but it's just a rope. Okay. And you bring enough of it down under, what do you call this?
The muzzle.
The muzzle. And you turn it, and then you put it's the rope over the muzzle. So it's just a rope. It's like one, like kind of like a leash over the muzzle, but it's like tied in the back. And it helps them with getting comfortable that they don't have control. It doesn't hurt, doesn't create any pain, but it's a new way of, like, when we're walking, you're not going to pick up that stick. Like, you're not going to do that. And it's a constant theme with Nikki's training of, like, you have to lead, you have to be in front, but also your, almost like a horse, like, I know your body language, everything you do, they're reading. So if I'm on my phone, he's going to know I'm distracted. He's going to start leading. All these little things. So like the thing that's the most annoying is practicing is literally me walking a foot forward. If he gets in front of me, we turn around, just back and forth. So he knows at all times he needs to be behind me. So there's a bunch of stuff, but
my German Shepherd went to Nikki, and so he's upstairs right now sleeping because we just spent all morning out front. If he gets ahead of me, we turn around and go back the other direction. And he has made so many strides, but there's still times where he's like, another dog. Yeah. And I mean, it's like, you're like, I'm burning a hole in the sidewalk from going 5 paces forward, 5 paces back. But
But it's like the patience and the consistency.
patience.
One thing I thought was interesting, I don't think she'd care if I shared this. I just found it fascinating is when she's doing this, what I love is she's explaining the psychology of like what's happening to the dog. And he was throwing a fit, biting the leash and like trying to play tug of war. And she went down, got his energy. It was a whole thing. He was being a brat. And she was doing this thing with his mouth and it didn't create pain, but it created this signal. I was like, what are you doing? What is that? I've never seen that. And she's like, when I do this, he's going to instantly stop. And I was like, almost like imagine a pressure point, but not a pressure point. Yeah. And I asked her to explain it and she explained it. And on a dog's muzzle, like on the top muzzle, I don't know, what would you call that? The upper, what do you refer to
like
that?
The snout?
The snout, but like where their teeth are on the top versus the bottom. Like, what would you call this versus this?
This is the maxilla.
Okay, so like you open their muzzle, the maxilla,
okay. Yeah,
and she just put her hand in the maxilla, and then the fingers kind of pressed up on the gums.
Okay,
just the maxilla. And I was like, "Tell me more." And she's like, "Well," and I hope I get this right, but this is what she said. I believe is when dogs fight, a dog is like kind of winning because that's where they're going to bite. So it's almost like the equivalent of like if you're in a fight with a man or a woman or whatever, and they put you in a headlock. And you're just like, okay. Like, if someone puts me in a headlock, I'm fine. I'm not like bleeding. I'm not dying. But I'm like, okay, I got to submit. You got me.
Yeah, white flag.
Like, all right, white flag. Like you won this.
Interesting.
And so it's like things like that just you would never know.
And we don't learn that in vet school.
No.
I don't learn that.
Yeah.
So that's amazing.
Interesting. Yeah. So
next time I'm in a fight with my sister, I'm going to stick my hands in her, get her in the maxilla.
Right in the gums.
I'll show her. That is, Morgan's shaking her head at me. Carla, if you're listening, watch out.
Do it.
That is funny. I mean, that is really interesting though. And a lot of it is just, and I do love that she explains the psychology because a lot of times you're like, do this, do that. But you're like, why am I doing this? It doesn't really make sense. But when you can think through it, it's so much more helpful.
Yeah, exactly. And she like even things like the couches, like dogs don't know what a couch is. We allow them to get a couch. Once they get on a couch, they are rated like eye to eye with us.
Yeah.
And so she's like, if you get to the point that the dog can come on the couch, it's got to be earned.
Right.
And so like they sit and then you let them come. And if you want them off, there's a demand for them to get off. Right. So the whole thing is just fascinating, but
it's a huge learning experience for the humans.
Oh my God. And I also realized like how, I've had dogs in the past and I'm just like, wow, how much I was not doing correctly.
I am a horrible pet owner. It really makes you think.
Oh,
I know.
My gosh.
I know.
So it's a lot.
How's it going? When we had first talked about him, he was limping a little bit.
Yes. So he still is. It's interesting because like his limp comes on and off. We have, and this was my last golden, poor guy was kicked in the hip and was found in the streets with
it
was and found in the streets with a broken hip. He got surgery and then we rescued him. Because of that, I'm hyper aware of the hips on a dog. Like whenever am I walking him too much? Is he on the concrete versus the grass? Because I would always, if he dragged it. Yeah. So when I first picked him up, I was like, something's up with his hip. But it wasn't too drastic. And then it started to get worse, but then it got better with pain medication and inflammation. So we got an x-ray done. The x-ray is a big question mark because the vet said it's good. The radiologist said it shows like a ACL tear. Now we have, Wags has orthopedic that they suggest, Dr. Nunley.
Yes.
Dr. Nunley is like, it's inconclusive. So I have 3 different opinions I got to send those to you. Yeah, I want to get your opinion. 3 opinions, and all of them are up in the air. So what we're doing is Dr. Nunley is, I guess he works all over. So we're setting an appointment with him for Teddy to go in to see if there's an ACL tear.
So we can feel it.
Yeah.
It's so interesting because in humans, well, I guess in animals too, when we take x-rays, we can see how does the femur fit into the hip socket. And that tells us, do they have hip dysplasia or not? Yeah. That's super easy to rule in or out. Sure. But a ligament tear, instead of ACL, we call it CCL in dogs.
That's right. I knew it was something else. I just called it ACL.
It's an ACL, same thing. Yeah. We can't really see that. We can't see that ligament on x-ray. Okay. Soft tissue structures don't really radiate like bones do. Okay. And so we can only see evidence of a CCL rupture. So like, is there a little bit of swelling, which we can see on x-ray? Are the bones like slightly out of position, but we can't say, oh yeah, slam dunk, the CCL is torn.
Okay.
So we do put a lot of weight on our exam. And when we move the different bones in the leg, if there's a lot of, we call it laxity, but like a lot of extra movement, then that would give us more evidence that, yeah, this probably is a torn CCL.
Do dogs do MRIs?
They do MRIs.
Would you do an MRI here?
You absolutely could. I would say we're going to know. By the time we do the exam and take the x-ray, it's going to be pretty solid. Okay. If it ever gets to the point where I've had a dog who had this horrible swelling in his front leg, we didn't know why, we couldn't get to the bottom of it, and we did an MRI.
Okay.
So we do have that as an option, but it's like way more expensive than an x-ray and exam.
Yeah. What's interesting is like, it's hard. I don't know. I guess we'll have to see, because there's some days he's not phased at all. And other days he limps a little bit. So
when you say a little bit, is he like toe touching? Like,
what does that mean?
Like limping on his toe, or is he limping like not putting any weight on it at all?
Toe touching.
Okay.
But like that same day, he'll be doing bunny jumps 15 feet in the air, and I'll be running, like trying to run, and I'm slowing him down.
Yeah.
We're pretty, since I went to the doctor, we're like really slowing down exercise a little bit, because they suggested 2 to 3 weeks. Obviously he's a teenage wild man, so give him some love and get him out there. But like, let's keep an eye on it. And then he's taking anti-inflammation stuff.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, and so even if they tear their ACLs, it doesn't have to be a full tear. It could be a partial tear too. Okay. That's one thing to think about. Yeah. And so with that, it can kind of wax and wane. Like my husband, Cody, tore his ACL and then went scuba diving the week after. Yeah. So they can tear it and still get around okay. So I would say I wouldn't let that like sway me one way or another.
Okay. But it should get, like, if it's a tear, we'll find out here soon, probably in the next week or two. It should get fixed though, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And a young dog,
especially a young dog,
1
active,
million trillion % fix it.
Yeah. 100%.
Absolutely. Because if you don't fix it, then they're really predisposed to arthritis in their joint. They kind of hobble around their whole life. And we have such, like, the surgery now is like, it's a well-oiled machine. They do great. Yeah. Definitely worth doing.
The idea of him 2 weeks though, like not being able to walk, like breaks my heart.
It's like 12 weeks.
Oh my God, it's 12 weeks?
It's 12 weeks of recovery. The first.
Oh my, this poor guy. He's got so much
Sound
energy.
The alarm.
He's going to lose. Do they have therapists for dogs? He's going to need to talk to someone.
It sounds like he could use a concierge therapist.
You do therapy too?
I do not. I'm just kidding. I would. I'd come talk to him.
Can you talk to him?
Tell me about your feelings. No, so really the first 2 to 4 weeks on a leash, in and out to go potty, right back inside.
Oh my God, that is a form of torture for this dog.
And then 4 weeks you can put him on a leash and like go around the block. 8 weeks, a little bit more, 12 weeks back to normal activity.
I really hope it's not torn.
I hope so too. And honestly, I mean, he's so young and rambunctious right now. Like it's okay. You're not like neglecting by not doing anything. Especially since he's not limping on a regular basis. So.
Yeah, it's just all we're doing is waiting for this appointment with Nunley, I guess, which is gonna be in the next week or two.
You hear that, Jeff? That's Dr. Nunley's first name is Jeff.
Oh, Jeff.
Shout out to Jeff Nunley.
Come on, let's go. I need you.
Tell us what's going on.
I need you, man. Teddy needs you. Yeah.
He needs a therapist, an orthopedist.
He needs a lot of action here.
We've had him for 1 month.
1 month. He gets more packages than me.
Does he?
He's got a lot of fans out there.
It's people like love Miss Peaches. So
it's like a mini Miss Peach. They love him.
I need to start monetizing on my dogs.
Honestly, there's when I walked out to come here, FedEx showed up, and then there's like 4 or 5 packages.
Oh.
Everyone was for him.
Way.
Everyone.
This is amazing.
He is just thriving.
Saya, get up here.
Get him on camera.
Putting you on social media.
Oh, gosh.
Wow. Okay. Good to know.
Yeah. She could do a lot these days.
She really could.
They're actually, for the agency that I own, we rep some dogs.
Like Doug the Pug.
Doug the Pug kills it.
Doug the Pug.
Like Doug the Pug makes more
is the
than
OG
majority of humans in this world.
He does. And he has more followers than Miss Peaches. He's the OG. Doug has a new little sister named Dory.
Yes, I saw.
So now we've got
Doug and Dory.
Her now.
Cute.
I know, they're so cute.
Cute.
Okay, so you're thinking about moving to New York City.
Yes.
Which is no secret.
Yeah.
And is Teddy like a deciding factor in that? Like, ooh, I want a yard for him in Nashville, or is that playing into your decision at all?
It's definitely playing into my decision, and I brought him to New York already, and he did great in New York, amazing. Which is good. He like acclimated pretty well, and we didn't have any issues or anything.
Good.
If I did live in New York, it would have to be like park would have to be within extreme close proximity.
Right.
I think where I'm leaning towards right now is buying a place in Nashville, having a nice backyard, spending a lot of time here, and then having more of like an office space in New York that I could,
Get the best of both worlds.
I could have a podcast, I could have an area to cook and sleep.
Yeah.
So I could kind of like work as like an office, and then I could do both.
The best of both
so
worlds.
go up there to work a little bit and then come back here to kind of relax and like have residency here.
That's smart for tax purposes too.
Yeah. If the IRS is listening,
just
delete that.
Yeah. Look away. I lived in downtown Chicago prior to moving here and took care of all the pets in downtown Chicago, which is just as urban as New York City.
Yeah.
And I had a Great Dane there. So you can have big dogs.
It's a big boy.
Yeah, she was a big gal. So you can have dogs that live in those settings and they do great. I feel like people are like, how could you put that dog in an apartment?
Yeah.
Well, she gets 3 walks a day. And, you have access to parks. So they can live a very nice, normal lifestyle in an urban setting like that.
Okay. That's good to know.
Yeah.
I should definitely get them fully trained first.
We're going to
we're going to do that first. Then we're going to
need like a couple years with Nikki.
Yeah.
Fix the CCL.
5.
Yeah. I was going to say that would be something else. Can you imagine him just like tearing down the streets?
Oh gosh. Well, he was actually really good with the walks and stuff, which I'm surprised by.
Especially if he likes to chase cars.
Yeah, he likes to chase cars.
Well,
let me tell you, one session with Nikki, he doesn't chase cars anymore.
The old maximum pressure point.
He does not chase cars anymore. I'll tell you that much. He's doing just fine with that now, which is good.
I love that.
Yeah.
Okay, we always sort of wrap up our episodes with a segment called Paw and Order.
Okay.
So we're going to do Paw and Order, and this is 3 things I would never do with my pets as a veterinarian.
Okay.
And I think these will be good for you as I've kind of tailored them to like a new pet owner.
Okay, cool.
With a dog. So number 1, I wouldn't follow directions on the back of the bag when feeding my pets unless they're a puppy. That's the only caveat. The reason being is they almost always tell you to overfeed. My thought behind that is it's probably the pet food companies want to sell more food.
Oh, interesting.
And so if you want to know how much to feed your pet, ask your veterinarian. We can tell you exactly how many calories to feed. And then based on what you're eating, we can tell you exactly how much of that to give.
Can I put you on the spot?
Yeah.
Like, what do you think he's 50, let's say call it 50 to 60 pounds. He fluctuates.
Super active.
Crazy, very active.
You have to take that into account.
And he's a growing teenager.
60 pounds, we'll say?
Well, yeah, I'd say like precisely, it's probably like 57 something.
Okay.
56, 57.
Doing my calculation.
Okay, do your calculate, right? And I'll tell you right now what I do. I feed him every day at 10 to 5.
At 4:50. Wait, what? 10 to 5?
I feed him twice a day.
Oh, okay. At 10 and 5.
And then 5.
Okay, I was like, wow, 4:50. That is very...
Yeah.
Okay.
Very precise.
10 to 5.
So you have OCD, okay.
Noted. Okay, let's see here. So this is actually a really great example. So if you had a 60-pound dog that isn't young and active and growing and all the things, they would probably eat roughly around like 700 calories a day.
Okay.
And a 60-pound dog that is young and wild and active and biting his leash and all the things, you're going to get closer to like 1,100 calories per day.
Okay. Good to know.
So that's how much I would feed him.
Okay.
And then you can look, what are you feeding him?
There's a company called Mave that I've been working with their stuff. And then Farmer's Dog. It's all like the fresh stuff. Farmer's Dog. Those are the 2 right now I'm playing with.
You can look at those bags and it'll tell you exactly how many calories. Yeah. Most of the time on pet foods, it says kilocal, so KCAL per cup or per ounce.
Yeah.
And that's the same thing as a calorie.
Okay, good.
So.
Good to know.
Yes.
On it. Oh, what do you think about slow feeders?
I love them.
Okay.
I have the best slow feeder that I use for my shepherd. It's made by Yomp. Yomp. Yomp.
Okay. What else do you think about? Sorry, I'm stealing your segment, but I have another question. Someone told me that you shouldn't put the bowl on the ground. You should actually elevate it for digestion issues. Is that like too crazy?
The internet trolls are going to come after me for this, and I think they know everything. But no, you can put it on the ground.
Okay, because I was getting yelled at for that.
There are no scientific studies to show that raising food bowls. The reason they say that is that their stomachs are less likely to flip.
Okay.
If the food bowls are raised, there's no data behind that.
Interesting.
So
okay.
I feed my dogs on the ground.
So you said stomach flip. Like what does it mean and what should I look out for? Like how do I know if my dog's stomach flipped?
You're going to know. It's bad. Okay. So it's really mainly in like our really deep chested dogs that have all that extra space.
Okay.
And there's really no rhyme or reason to why it happens. We just know that some breeds are more predisposed to it.
Okay.
And for whatever reason, that stomach expands and then it flips on itself and it cuts off blood supply to the stomach. And it's a like dire emergency, life-threatening condition.
Shit.
The main symptom that we see is dogs that are retching. So they're like gagging, trying to get something up and nothing's coming out. Not
Is it common or no?
It's the data in like deep chested dogs. So like Great Danes, 40% of Great Danes will experience GDV is what it's called.
Okay. I got one more question and then I'm done.
Yeah.
Because
ask away. I love this.
At some point, the podcast host me can't help it. Please. What are like, obviously there's symptoms if a human should like go to the emergency room. Mm-hmm. What are some things that as dog owners should be like, if your dog's doing this, like don't mess around, go. Yeah. Like what are those things?
Active bleeding.
Okay.
They're actively bleeding. I take them in. Coughing, I like to take pretty seriously. A cough in a dog can go from being nothing to being something really bad pretty quickly. Coughing, by the way, can sound like a gag. A lot of times people will come in and be like, my dog, it sounds like something's stuck in its throat. Yeah. And it's like this, I'm going to make the cough noise and it's so embarrassing, but it's bleh, like that is what it sounds like. Okay. And then I kind of have this rule of 3. So if they're having vomiting or diarrhea or something like that, if it's 3 times in one day, 3 days in a row, or they have 3 concurrent issues, you should probably take them in to be seen. Okay. If it's like one-off throw up, I'm like, yeah, they'll be fine.
Sure. But if you see 3, then it's like, go.
Exactly. They're diarrheaing, they're not eating, and they're vomiting, take them to the vet.
That's another thing I learned from like Nikki. 3s are big. It's 3 days, 3 weeks, 3 months. Mm-hmm. Have you heard that
Huge.
one? Which is, so I don't screw it up. Yes. It's like 3 days. When you adopt a dog, you need to be with the dog 3 days in your home. Yep. Don't go anywhere, nobody else, etc. Then it's like within 3 weeks, they start to find, like they'll start to understand you're their person. And that takes like 3 full months of like active care for like them to like decompress, like be at their homeostasis.
Yes. That is so important when rescuing a dog is to sort of have that expectation that you're not going to bring this dog in and you shouldn't go hit up the patios and the parks right away. Like allow them to acclimate to your home and decompress, and that takes time. And so that's like essentially what that rule is. And it's so important. Yeah. Even like a year after adopting them, like I'll still like notice them starting to just like get even more comfortable. So it takes time. Time. Okay, number 2 on the list is it is flea season, people. It is getting warm out. I can't tell you how many owners have called me because they have fleas on their pets. And I'm going to throw my sister under the bus again on this podcast. Wow. But she called me the other day. I know. She called me the other day because her dog had a tick on it. And my big no-no here is don't buy flea and tick prevention off of Amazon or Chewy if it's not prescription based. You do not want to buy the over-the-counter stuff. It doesn't work. That's usually going to be like, sorry to call you out, Frontline, but like Frontline is the brand that I find that doesn't work very well. And you're going to end up saving a few dollars on the short end, but long end, your pet's going to get fleas and ticks and you're going to spend way more money trying to treat that. So it's worth the extra $5 to buy the prevention from your vet.
Wait, isn't the prevention a thing you wear on your neck?
It can be. The Seresto collar. Yes. It can be around the neck. Yeah. I don't love that one as much.
Really? What do you love?
I love Simparica Trio, which is...
but that's the shot, isn't it?
No, that's Pro Heart. Simparica Trio is just an all-in-one chew. It does fleas, ticks, heartworms, all-in-one chew once a month.
That seems effective.
Super duper effective.
We did the injection. I think, has Simparica ever done an injection?
Never.
Never?
Mm-mm. You're thinking Pro Heart.
Might have been Pro Heart because we did it and we almost lost one of our dogs.
Really?
Yeah, he went into like the vet.
Had a reaction.
Didn't know what to do. We had him on an IV. They had him a heart monitor. His gums went fully gray. Like we almost lost him.
That's
from the injection.
Very scary.
Yeah.
No, I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of listeners out there that have their dogs on Pro Heart, and it's not to say that it's a blanket statement of it being bad. It's just any vaccine, injection, anything we give them, and humans too, there's always the risk of having a reaction to something. So
keep an eye on it, right?
He is one that we would not want to give Pro Heart to.
How do you, for fleas and stuff, how do you know if a dog has fleas?
They are super duper itchy. Okay. Like they're unbearably itchy. And then I can do my exam and see fleas. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. You'll know.
All right.
And then the fleas can like get.
Because you can't see, like I couldn't see fleas.
You can see a flea.
You can?
Mites, like skin mites, you can't see, but fleas you can see.
What do they look like?
They're like little teeny little like gnats.
Yeah.
They're like the size of a gnat.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Keep my eye on it. It's flea season.
It's flea season. Okay, number 3. It is starting to warm up, as I just said. And my dogs are shedding like crazy. I bet Teddy might still have his puppy coat, but he's got long hair, so you'll notice.
A lot of hair, thick hair.
Thick. You'll notice that in the spring and the falls when they do the majority of their shedding.
Okay.
And I would not furminate my dogs this time of year, really ever. The furminating is a tool. It's a de-shedding tool that kind of pulls out that undercoat.
Yeah, I have that thing.
And if you go take your dog to the groomers will also say, like, do you want me to furminate your dog for you?
I just did this and I obviously did the wrong thing.
Damn it. Furminating, I can't tell you how many times I see dogs come in 3 to 5 days post-furminating, and that tool causes like little micro tears in their skin and it gets infected. And they're so itchy. They have like pustules all along their back. And it's not every single time, but it's a lot. So I try not to furminate. Just get yourself a really good brush.
Don't furminate at all.
Don't furminate at all.
Like ever?
I don't furminate.
Oh, don't ever do that. Interesting.
It's that tool is so harsh and it like just scrapes across their skin.
Yeah. Okay, I didn't know that. So get a brush. Don't use that for that claw thing I use. Don't use that.
Is it, well, I'll look, is it a furminator?
I think so. I'll send a picture and see what you think. But
yeah,
it's like one of those ones that it's got like little, I don't know, it's like metal but it's got like little baby claws. And like when you do it, like he likes it. It feels good. But then like a bunch of hair comes
I'll take a look at it.
Cool.
You'll know. Like
don't
it's like
furminate.
a big.
So what about shampoos and stuff? Don't use furmination shampoo. Because aren't there like shampoos?
Can't,
like de-shedding shampoos?
Yeah, no, de-shedding shampoo, great. Love it.
Okay.
Anything like labeled for a dog shampoo wise, it's the tool. It's like that metal on skin.
Okay.
Like hurts the skin barrier and then they can get infections after that.
Okay. Good to know.
I feel like people are always like, do you have any brand deals from this podcast? I'm like, I'm literally up there just like,
Should.
Don't do the furminator. Yeah. Don't do the front line.
All right, let me tee you up with a potential brand opportunity here. Number one treat. Or like top treat that you're like, that's a good treat.
I really like Stewart's freeze dried, and I don't love like freeze dried stuff, but these are the best. I carry them with me to all my appointments. Okay. Stewart's freeze dried liver treats. You can get them on, I think it's like a family owned company. Okay. You can get them on Amazon.
Okay. Anything that you're like, absolutely do not put that in your dog's mouth.
Antlers.
Good one.
Anything hard like that. I see a fractured.
Bones you're good with, right?
A hard bone, anything I can't press my finger into. Out.
Really?
I see so many fractured teeth.
What about those bones with like this, I don't know, what's your standard like bone with like the peanut butter stuff in there? I'm blanking on it.
Like There's a marrow bone?
Yes.
I mean, those are also really hard.
On
anything
the
that they're like doing this with, they can fracture their teeth.
Okay.
And then I got to go in and take the tooth out.
Oof, and that's a process.
It's a process. Yeah. I'm sweating and you're
it's
spending thousands of dollars.
Yes,
right? Yes. Yeah. So
veterinarian care.
We're going to talk about
We're going to talk on trading secrets.
I can't wait. Yomp. Again, I'm plugging them. YOMP. They make really good soft, but they're silicone. So they're still like, they can chew on them. Really great toys and bones for dogs to chew on. Okay. So that's the tea.
That's great.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me. This has been great.
And you'll have to keep us posted. I'll let people know what happens if you guys move to New York.
Yeah.
If Teddy gets a CCL fixed, if he even needs it fixed.
There's a lot on the horizon. Maybe we'll do a part 2 one day and he'll be here once he's trained.
In 5 years, Teddy will come in the vet's office.
Teddy is 9 years old.
All right. Well, this has been a great first episode of season 3. We have so many more great episodes to come this season. We've got Lauren Akins. We've got Victoria Fuller. We have the head of the SWAT team that trains all of the SWAT dogs for the Nashville PD. Nikki, the trainer, who we've talked about 100 times this episode, is also coming back. So stay tuned because it's going to be awesome. And I can't wait for you guys to listen to it.